name is Jo Hancock. I'm the Programme Manager for Stride, which is an innovation programme that's led and delivered by the University of Plymouth.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit about what the Stride offer is for businesses in Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly?
Yeah, well, Stride is a leading high-impact innovation programme aimed at businesses throughout Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly. We're looking to support those businesses that want to bring forward a new product, a new process, a new service. Perhaps they have a next generation item that they want to develop, or branch into a new market, be that local or even global. So businesses that are looking to scale and grow. Also looking at those businesses who want to commercially exploit that idea. So they're looking at scale. And for us as a team, what we try and do is to help them to mitigate risk so that they can avoid that market failure. When we work with businesses, we work with businesses across all sectors and all sizes, so we're not excluding any of the sectors. We do have a lot of manufacturing and engineering, but we do work with everyone. And for us, it's really important that we make sure that our offer is bespoke to each business, because each business is different, each sector is different, each innovation is different. So our offer needs to be really tailored, specific to the needs of that business. So it could be that the business comes to us and after a diagnostic that they have some one-to-one consultancy support. It could be strategy, it could be cost modelling. It might be that the further along the cycle, they need some market evaluation, they need some product design, they may even need some early stage prototyping. Or it could be that they need to register their items, so it could be intellectual property or legal. Now, because we're also linked to the University of Plymouth, we can also provide access to academic expertise, some of our leading resources that we have at the university. We can provide resources and research for them as well. We can also do student projects, we can run focus groups, and even within the programme there is a small innovation grant that could help with things like MVPs or specific kit that they need to be able to bring their programme or their idea or their innovation forward.
Fantastic. I mean, you say obviously you're open to all businesses, but is there a particular sort of type of business you're looking for, or is it more suited to a particular business owner?
We are looking for registered growth businesses. So it's important for us that the business is seeing innovation as a process that they can move their business forward. You know, we're looking for businesses that want to scale and grow ultimately. We're looking for businesses who are committed to receiving support. You know, some of the support that we give businesses is up to 50 hours. So we need to make sure that they are committed to that process. We need to understand, you know, from their perspective what their aspirations are as well, and that really they're more innovationally mature business too.
Okay, great. Just from that point of view, are there any common challenges that the businesses you work with face?
I think the biggest challenges that we see is that a business comes to us with an idea or a seed of an idea, and they haven't really understood if there is a market for it. So, you know, with innovation, it's about identifying what problem are they looking to solve. What is the size of the market? And often if a business hasn't gone away, done some market research, understood if there's any other competitors in the market, then understood the size of the market, you know, if they're looking to ultimately gain revenue and growth from it, they need to make sure that they can grow into that market. So that's probably the biggest thing, is market research. You know, invention and innovation are very different. And if somebody comes forward with an idea and it's ego driven rather than this is actually a need, I'm trying to solve pains that are out there with my customers, then their innovation isn't gonna work. So that's perhaps the biggest one.
And is that then having sort of honest conversations with businesses and sometimes having to be that critical friend?
Absolutely, absolutely. We very much see that as part of our role, to be that critical friend, because innovation is risky. Businesses can invest a lot of money, and ultimately innovations can fail. So we want to make sure that we are acting as a critical friend. We're not squashing people's ideas. Ultimately, it's up to them whether they continue to drive forward. But I think it's our responsibility to make sure that they have done as much work and have as broader understanding as possible as whether or not that's going to be successful for them.
Okay, brilliant. And do you think there's a common thread within the team about what people find most rewarding working in this area with businesses? Is there an element of that you see a lot of?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we're fortunate. It is when businesses come to us, it is a competitive process. We need to make sure that we're adding value to the business, and the business feels that we're a right fit for them as well. But when we work with the business from that initial seed of that idea all the way through to product launch, and we see those businesses becoming successful, ultimately that's what it's about. We because we work with the businesses for a lot of hours compared to some of the other support programs out there, we really become embedded and wedded to that business. So therefore, it's in our interest as well as theirs to make sure that they succeed ultimately.
So what do you think are maybe some of the common misperceptions or misunderstandings that maybe stop people from engaging?
I think businesses don't perhaps fully understand the full range of support that's out there for them. And that it's free. This is a fully funded offer that if it were put on the table commercially, it would cost quite a lot of money. And businesses are often surprised when they start the conversation, that they can get this level of support. I think in Cornwall as a whole, we've got some fabulous facilities and business support programs now, each of them, in a niche area that is right for that given business. But I would just encourage businesses to come forward and have a conversation with you guys at the Growth Hub as well, to really fully understand the breadth of support that's out there and what those programs can do.
I think sometimes there's maybe a time element as well, and you talked about the investment. Is there how would you sort of encourage businesses to invest their own time in some of the support? Obviously, it's a considerable commitment for Stride. Other business support providers ask that as well. So how would you encourage businesses to value their time that they would need to dedicate to that?
From an innovation perspective, innovation is hugely important for businesses to be able to move forward. Gives them competitor advantage, helps them launch into new market, become more effective, efficient, productive, all of those things, and sustainable. In order to become sustainable into the future, you've always got to be looking forward to the horizon. I think sometimes, unfortunately, businesses are so busy, they can be busy working in the business rather than taking that step backwards to work on the business. But unless you are constantly looking at the horizon, looking at where your products or your services or your processes are in your business, and when they might hit that level where actually if you don't do something now, you're going to go on the decline, the S curve, you're going to go on that decline. You need to be thinking beyond that at all times and really understand the value of that to your business. If you stand still, you will go backwards. That's the reality. You need to actually do something to move forward. And the investment of time in order to grow your business is absolutely key for business.